Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Walter here at the workbench with the next plane in the 4.5 smoother series. And going up in price, we now have the Veritas Custom 4.5 smooth plane. Now, this one happens to have another of the PMV blade. And once again, we are wrapped in the anti-corrosion paper, which tells me that there should be no oil to deal with. And it comes with a special set of instructions and a hex key. Okay. Now, as always, we will start with the weight. The last setting was in grams, so the first thing up is grams. 2195. 2195 grams, which translates out to come on, kilograms, pounds, 4.84 pounds. It's not all that heavy. All right. So, that is a sleek looking plane, isn't it? That is a very unique casting. So next up, we want to check for flatness. And this was a demo plane. I can see by the battle scars. And that is perfectly fine. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and please, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the knob and the tote are that torrefied maple, heat-treated maple. Okay. We'll get our rusty, trusty little piece of 1,000th grit paper, and we'll put it under the toe, and that is snug. On the side, snug, 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 snug. That is hugging tight. That cannot be measured any thinner. It doesn't pivot. See that? Snug as a bug. Now, flatness, plus or minus 1,000th of an inch for sure. Check. Now, in this instance, I don't even know if I can measure the cheeks or if it's even relative because of the shape of the plane. There is not much of a cheek there. We'll get back to that when I take the blade set out. But we can measure if they are square, and if that even matters. Okay. There is a little bit of light on the left bottom. And I don't think it's like 1/1000th of an inch. So cheek, square, left bottom is out 1/1000. On the right, here too, it's so minute. It's less than 1/1000th. So for all intents and purposes, the cheeks are square. Now here too, we have an interesting cap. It's not a lever, but it is a screw cap. And this looks to be cast stainless. And it is machined but not honed to mate with the cap iron. Now we have the blade set, which is a lot smaller blade set, and that is held together with that hex screw. Which we're going to have to get out of the box because I can't measure without taking it out. So there is an aspect where it actually has changed our paradigm. You know what a paradigm is? No, it's not 2 10-cent coins, pair of dime. Paradigm is a group of thoughts or understandings that we live or work in. And what that does is you have a certain amount of understanding. So here's the lever cap. Not the lever cap. Backtrack, correct that. This is the cap iron. And it has not been fitted, and I can feel some burrs up here on it. Thickness. .11. That's easy. And there is no measuring it in any particular, well, there is a little bit of a flat we can measure for squareness. And yes, it is square. The cutting iron is thicker, measuring 1.27. Why does that look so thick? 1.27 or 0.127. 0.127. So that's over 1/8 of an inch. Is it square? Yes. You see that little screw? I will lose that in a heartbeat. That goes into this little piece that's set inside the slot of the cutting iron, which has another screw which you can set to move it as you hone away metal. Now, onto the lateral. Once again, we're here with the I've lost my mind. The the lateral advance combination, and I will put down in the description the name of this. Wow! And I don't know if this is all stainless, but I'm assuming it is. Very finely made. It looks like the cap screw is stainless. It almost feels like it's on a bearing. It has a little button here you press to release it from the frog. Now the frog is attached with 2 more of these set screws with the hex key. And that's what makes the custom design of the Veritas 4.5 very unique, because you can get different frogs to change your bed angle. This one appears to be a standard 25 degree. The knob and tote, as I mentioned. One second, let me see, did I write down? I'm losing it today, guys. Nope, nope, lateral, nope, nope. Okay. So the tote and knob, it has a tall knob, the tall straight up tote, and I believe it to be the toriated maple. And the knob is sort of a tall knob, but it's the wide out fat knob. So it's a combination of the old Stanley low knob, but slightly taller. And once again, we have no yoke and we have no advancing nut. But this has an adjustable front toe right here, which allows you, that's what allows you to help close open and close the mouth for tighter cuts. That's a Norris style adjuster. Ding! Now, as to how much play there is, how much slop or tolerance there is in advance and retract, we can only tell that by putting this all back together. So, I don't know about you, but I find that little screw a little concerning. So, we'll put that back nose first in onto the Norris adjuster, and then the lever cap or the screw lever. Now this is nice what they did here. They put this added wide pad so that you're not relying on just a single point of a screw. I like that. I like that very much. So, as to how tight the Norris adjuster is, this one seems like we're real tight. So, measuring in quarter turns, we got 1/4 turn, 3/8 of a turn. 3/8 of a turn. They definitely took this totally out of the box as far as the design is concerned. So what I'm doing right now is I'm advancing. They had the blade set fully retracted for transportation purposes. And I want to see how tight the mouth is set. Because there is another feature I want to show you. So I mentioned that you can close the mouth by loosening this, but they have a screw here that you can move to act as a stop block. That screw will stop that bottom toe plate where you want it to stop so you do not hit the cutting iron. So, I just moved it extremely close. See that? I moved it extremely close, but that little screw right there by my pinky. You set that, and that prevents the toe, the adjustable toe, from coming back too far and slamming into your freshly sharpened iron. That is slick. Now this is the PMV11 blade that's in here. So we're going to have to give that a little bit of a honing. But there you go. Veritas Custom, 4.5 smoother. Now it too has the set screws on either side of the blade to keep it centered. It too has, well, it has 2 screw holes that are tapped on either side, to which you can attach a fence if you need a fence. So I wouldn't know why you would want a fence on a smoother, but they are there. As to the way the knob, the tote and knob are attached, naturally the knob has a built-in screw system that goes into the toe. The tote is quite a well distance recessed here. It doesn't affect user function, and it doesn't really affect appearance. But me personally, I would rather that have come out right to the top and been smooth, because that's a place for dirt and sawdust to build up. But very nicely done, Veritas. That's a very nice plane. I can't wait to put an edge on it and give it some passes across some wood, test it out. Any questions, comments, suggestions? Leave it down in the description box or in the comments section. And once again, I'm going to ask that you please leave a comment thanking Lee Valley and Veritas for providing this beautiful plane. And yes, I can interject my opinion in so much as beauty, because it has a very unique style. Okay, now as to function, we'll see how that all works out in the shootout, right? Right. All righty, everybody. Like, subscribe, and share. Head out to your workshop. Walter out.